Greetings and salutations, all you beautiful individuals. It is another round of Liga here and Mark here with you guys we had double tournament action and we're in the middle of December. These are the most meaningful tournaments of the year. We don't care about that World Championship T1. Who's winning the NNO Cup? Los Ratones versus some kind of pigs, Yankos and four guys. But this has been a fun run, and I mean, this team was announced, a month and a half ago at most, and now they're 100% win rate across all tournaments in the organization's history.
Unbelievable. We are going to be set up for an NNO champion, Los Ratones, appearing against T1 in the Red Bull League of Their Own event. Yes, they did it. Full on capturing the title. Los Ratones are the champions of NNO. And you know what? I think we've very quickly, one tournament in, are going to start having some conversations about which teams, who should be starting to pick up that phone, giving old K-Drill a call, and maybe plucking some talent off the Los Ratones.
Yeah, and listen, this has been a sweeping success so early on. Even if they didn't win this tournament, I think you'd be dubbing it such a big success because of the interest, the viewership, and yeah, like, we'll see how this first split of the NLC goes, but I would be shocked if 1, 2, 3, when Reckless shows up, maybe even all 5 of these guys are going to be getting calls from organizations either in the LEC or something else. But obviously, I think Baus's play is kind of the headline from what we've got. So many 1v2, 1v3 turnarounds on different champions that we've seen, and him proving that, yes, he's more than just a Scion one trick.
He's more than just the Scion one trick. He's more than just the solo queue nightmare that you can run into. He's able to operate in the team, the communication, the playmaking. All of it was spectacular from him throughout the entirety of this tournament, really, but especially in this final series, games 3 and 4. I think he really takes it to that next level, what he contributed for the Los Ratones. He is someone that I think a lot of people are going to be looking at, and rightfully so, because again, there were some questions as far as how you would maybe mix him into a team environment and professional scene, all these type of things from his background. But the talent, the game knowledge, all of that was there that you didn't have to question. And now you're seeing it in this type of professional, in this type of real environment like this with the team. I'm seeing success, and I'm seeing a lot of teams that should be calling up, even if, again, this is maybe just the honeymoon phase for him with the team and everything else, and we start to see some issues. Even then, I think that what you have seen right now as far as game skill and game knowledge put in at the professional level, even if it's the NNO, you got to say that this is something you're looking at.
Yeah, and obviously going to need to see actual, these were kind of other put together teams kind of the last minute, as is tradition with these kind of streamery tournaments. So we'll see, even in a tier 2 region like NLC, how things end up playing out. But it is rare for a solo queue star streamer to have the game knowledge and game sense that Baus has had. So often we just see, especially top laners, just sitting there 1v1me again, bro. Oh, I died to a gank. Oh, I died to another gank.
And it's definitely something I want people to be open-minded about, at the very least, because I think there's certainly something as far as in the West where we haven't really seen that. Maybe you separate it so much of going, yeah, that's just for fun. That's just solo queue. It doesn't work when you translate it into the professional environment, the rigors, the tests, the stresses that you go under at that type of level when money like that is on the line. Look over to the LPL, look to the LCK. How many times do we go, this was a guy who was a streamer, was a one trick of Draven, whatever, Jackie Love, all these guys. You can still carve out a professional career. I'm keeping my eye out on the Baus.
And again, obviously, Reckless is going to eventually sub into this squad, and K-Drill more of a backseat coaching as all his co-streaming stuff is going to pick up. But the comms, and again, the transparency, because we're seeing the comms throughout the entirety of games here, everyone is very chatty. Baus kind of takes a backseat because everyone else is so vocal, but these comms are more clear than most professional teams that we see in a lot of these mic checks, and want to give an extra shout out to the least talked about guy on this roster because he's the least well known, Velia in the jungle. His communication and confidence with 3 huge veterans around him he's been one of the most clear shot callers on the team.
And getting to showcase that the way that it has been, of course, with the transparency in the production and the communications for Los Ratones, this is rising his stock up big time, because you talk about what are X factors, what are the additional things that you can bring to the Rift outside of your mechanical skill that can raise you up, that can give you an edge in your individual matchup, in your team's matchup against someone else. That type of communication can do it. You're seeing it from a lot of the members of Los Ratones having that chatty communication. A lot of it, I'd say a very healthy amount of it, is maybe not necessarily super valuable or super important for the game, but it still is getting that information out and getting it across. Everyone is in that type of mode of trading information, taking in information and evaluating for it. You'd much rather have a team where everybody is talking, and you got to find a way to, okay, maybe we don't talk about this during these moments, or maybe we hyper focus in. Someone says, hey, clear comms, keep it on this when it's a big type of moment, than the team that doesn't talk in any of these type of moments. So seeing that immediately from all of these players, and again, players with that professional background and experience, is great, but having the rookie Velia in the jungle and the Bow step in and have these type of contributions on the comms, you love to see it.
Yeah, having a too busy communication line is similar to the AD carry who flashes in too often. I feel like it's easier to teach restraint than teach someone how to be aggressive. It's easier to say less than to teach someone how to be more vocal. So obviously something to monitor, and again, will change when Reckless comes onto this roster. But we need now a show match between Los Ratones and Disguised, because these are parallels where, even though LR is not going to be in that tier 1 region, but these streamers being the faces of an organization, just bumping up the viewership of these leagues.
There's no question to me that right now, if you're from either of these organizations, you have to be looking at the schedule. You have to be finding, where is it in this new path that is the season that's going to be 2025, that we can find a weekend, we can find a moment to say we're both on breaks, whatever, let's have a fun afternoon, do a little show match type of situation. You have to find a way to do it. It's too good right now, the content, the type of excitement and interest from the community, to pass up on this opportunity.
And like, obviously the demand, especially for Cajal and the boys, not even a week later, they're going to be at this Red Bull event that you mentioned too, and they'll have won a tournament more recently than T1, just saying. So they're real warmed up.
Yeah, they're bringing it in. And again, Doran stepping right in. His first match as T1 is going to be against the Bows. Oh, no.
You know, when he gets solo killed at some point, it's going to be like the most viewed clip of the whole year.
It could be the recipe for disaster up there, the Bows reigning on to T1. This is going to be fantastic. We talked about it before, I think, when we were looking, just at the start of the NNO tournament, and then knowing that there was this announcement that Los Ratones would be included in the League of Their Own event. Just keeps being home run after home run after home run here. This is going to be a fantastic winter preview as we head towards the incredible 2025 season that is going to be jam-packed.
Blessed that we have some of this content train going through the eSports winter before we head into that actual 2025 season. Don't want to do more overreacting, but OK Savings Bank Brion is the best team in the LCK and is going to sweep every tournament that they're a part of. They are our latest KeSPA Cup champions.
You know what? I think maybe, just hear me out, this might sound a little crazy. Maybe if you called Top Esports, they might say, okay, we'll trade last year for that win in the KeSPA Cup, because already the Bros have won an international tournament, a tournament before you got Top Esports last year getting it done. Yes, the Bros, the Bro Leavers, stand up, believe in yourself, because yes, this is a team that, again, take what you will and lower it amount from the KeSPA Cup. You're still stepping away as the champions, and the champions against another squad that was rolling through their LCK lineup.
Yeah, 2 of 3 teams, Nongshim being the other, that did just have their full starting 5 from the LCK. And listen, D Plus beat Gen G to get to these finals, and the Bros beat Hanwha Life, who didn't have the full starting lineup, but I think both of them had 3 starters from heading into this LCK split. So still an admirable task to get done. Bro was behind in like 2 of the 3 wins. D Plus was in control before they ended up stealing it from their grasp. But listen, in the last couple of years where Bro has kind of perennially been the bottom 2 team, 10th more often than not in the LCK, it feels like they've kind of brought these veteran free agents over that are maybe a little past their prime. I know they've still got Morgan and Closer on this roster, but the investment that we're seeing now in these rookies, Hambach in the jungle, obviously Hype, I don't know what the hell you're doing, KT, to let Hype go away and be on the Bros, and even Palu as a younger player. But the investment in the young players is what I'm most excited about for this squad.
KT had to be blinded by the hype of Hype to not see what was going and what was possible here with his skill set, because you're seeing it and we are buying it for him in the LCK right now. The Bros, they did it. They did their way, their path through. And yes, you talked about the roster. You have those mainstays in Morgan and then Closer in the mid lane. And I think Closer has been a very valuable add-on to this team and how he has immediately stepped in these performances that he's giving to the team. And now kind of at a more veteran stage in his career as well. You're looking at the rookies and how they've been able to play. And in this series, you had in game 1, you had Hambach popping off, collecting all the performance on that Vi. And then throughout this series, you had Hype being that answer in the bottom lane, having the edge always against aiming. This was very much in the hands and control of the Bros. Yes, it did go to, I believe, 4 games, but still, the Bro take it down, they take control, and set themselves up to be in that conversation for the LCK playoffs. An unexpected addition and wrinkle just before the season will get underway shortly in 2025.
And I like both of these squads, especially D+, getting games under their belt as the starting 5, Barrel coming back for them, and obviously CU as that rookie on that top side. It's still some of the same issues for D+. As I mentioned, they had leads in 2 of the games that they lost, some sizable leads that you should probably be able to close out. Barrel coming in, being implemented as what we assume to be that lead shot caller on that team. It'll take some time to develop, but should be excited for both of these squads. Again, one more on KT Rolster. They must have seen everybody saying Hype's amazing, and they say, no, when they believe, that's when we're jinxed. So we got to pivot the opposite way and let this guy go. Still, maybe one of the biggest L's of the offseason.
And I want people to keep track of these 2 teams, the Bros and KT, throughout the year, and watch Hype, because that might be the difference between being a playoff team or not in the LCK, is having someone as skilled, as exciting as Hype down in the bottom lane. KT passing it up. Not exactly the best look when you see him dominate, especially through these KeSPA Cup finals.
And look, let's be honest, heading into this brand new 3-split format in the LCK and all the other different regions, outside of those top 4 teams, and even D+ is kind of a distant 4th to those top 3, really, the LCK feels wide open. Like, KT, as we mentioned, isn't the same powerhouse. Kwangdong, we've been waiting to level up, but really those last 2 spots in the top 6, there's like 4 or 5 teams you feel like could take it.
And 2 out of the past 3 years, we've seen that 4th seed from the LCK make it all the way to the big dance of the World Championship. So yes, you do need to be keeping track of it all. Not even just the very top of the top, the 2, 1, 3, whatever it is, elite teams of the LCK. That 4, 5, 6 zone, that bubble, that gauntlet territory as well is going to have that competitive fire that you need to keep track of on the international level. We expect the Bros, Hype, they will be there. Keep an eye on it.
And listen, usually anything to do with KeSPA or Demacia Cup, these preseason tournaments, you're kind of taking with a massive grain of salt. And we still do with these results, but a team like Bro, who, let's face it, they've won nothing since this organization has existed, getting a win like this against a squad that's starting all 5 of their main LCK players after taking a big win against Hanwha Life and some world champions before. The confidence has got to be at an all-time high, and getting these net positives for 2 rookies before their year has even really begun, going to bring huge dividends for Bro.
This feels like a baby's first steps, right? We got the left foot down, right foot down. This is the pivotal moment. Is it the left foot that continues the motion? Do we follow it up, bro? Do we keep winning? Do we stay competitive in this first early split of the LCK? Or does it dismantle? Does it derail? Do we fall down?
Is there a tree root in the middle of the trail?
You got to keep an eye out for those ones if you are the bros. But yes, first 2 feet down, good start.
And we know that it's a team that has a fan base purely because of the name, and the Bro Leavers are eating good after tonight and going to have a little bit of optimism heading into, again, that brand new 2025 LCK format. We've seen lots of rumors about LPL rosters finally getting some finalized look at these squads, and listen, the reveal for this IG roster, this felt like peak Carmine Corp in the arena. All 5 starters in front of a huge crowd coming through that IG home arena. And we know some details. There was a bit of an ownership change for IG heading into this year. And obviously, the checkbooks are showing what this new ownership is capable of with this mini 2018 IG reunion. Apparently, Jackie Love was also offered this spot, but wanted to stay on TES. And now we know the coaching staff is Danny and Mafa, obviously former Genji, JDG, Weibo, and D+ guys who have found great success and has some history with the Shy, does Danny. So across the board, investing big time in this roster.
Oh, baby, that Jackie Love wrinkle is just the last cherry on top of the sundae that I needed for this IG story to be complete, because now it gives you that opportunity to have the crazy conversation of, did Jackie Love make the right call? Because yes, there's obviously an incredibly appealing opportunity with IG and all the excitement, the flash that's going to be there, running it back of the star players of this organization, flushed with new talent, taking on the best of the LPL. But then you still look at the opportunity that you have with Top Esports and how well that team has been built out, the time that you have spent, the commitment from the organization, the addition now of Kanavi into the jungle for the team. Very exciting. So you can understand where he comes at that crossroads. But yes, this is all to talk about IG and this roster that has been put together, the extra money that's been pumped into the organization, much needed to secure these contracts, to secure the coaching staff that they did. This is an IG that's gone all out, and I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah, and the added angle of Mako coming over to IG, still not enough to pull Jackie Love over. Obviously has faith in what the future of TES is going to be, or maybe he's been hanging out with the Shy and Rookie and it's going, nah, those guys are washed, man. I don't want to be a part of that. We got the new generation with guys like 369 and Cream coming through. But either way, two very excited LPL squads. But IG, I feel like it's used to be one of the biggest fan bases, and it's been a drought for multiple years for things to be excited about. But this is feeling like some magic, a half decade in the making.
Well, it's the crazy thing to go realize just how long it has been since 2018 and that championship for IG and how that changed things, in the LPL, but across League of Legends with that introduction, with that introduction of the LPL on the champion type of level at the World's event. IG has disappeared. They went all the way through. We had maybe one moment I can think of in these past, stretch of years where we got excited about IG, and that was very early. You Should Know Me, and how that played out, of course, that year and everything else.
That felt like it only lasted weeks too, where you were hyped about him.
Exactly. So this is much needed and much overdue in the LPL to get a big time premium team brand like IG, the roster that can fill out the demands and needs of the fans.
Now, on paper, this is probably the most exciting change because it's a full revamp of IG. Obviously, so many iconic players and household names. But when you're looking at who's actually going to be that main contender for BLG, JDG also fully announcing this roster that's been rumored. It's not Sheer, but the Ale, Jun, Scout, Pays missing, CV Max coming on that coaching staff. On paper, you feel like this team might even be better than JDG. Number one, because we're not sure what form the Shy is going to be in. If you're looking at recent performances, Jun was just going toe-to-toe with T1, so you're probably giving him an edge over JJ. Scout continues to be one of the best players, let alone mid laners, in the LPL. You like him over Rookie lately. Same with Pays, proving himself now in the LPL. So more excited for IG, but JDG might end up being the better team.
For what JDG could be capable of, I think they are not generating the noise that is deserved of what they have been putting together this offseason. You look at, yes, I'm not super thrilled at not having Sheer as that option in the top side. I think both of us would have wanted that, but I think as I've warmed up more to Ale in that top side and what he can figure into this team and how the team should operate, thinking about the other pieces. Because you look at Shun and how he performed, and as you said, going toe-to-toe with T1 at the World Championship recently at a high level. You look at the mid lane with Scout and the consistency that he has provided in the LPL at that type of level is unquestioned. And then Pays steps on into the LPL, the swap with Ruler, and what he can do now. I think he will be extra motivated to put together the performances, prove some of these doubters, some of these haters wrong, saying that Gen G has easily won this, swap type of trade. It was a simple type of decision. He's out to prove people wrong. And I think that he has got the right coach to motivate him for that. Is the other factor with CV Max. You can go to the LCK and you can look at so many of the mega superstars and go, yep, CV Max was the very beginning. He was the first coach. He was the very first one sculpting the clay into the magnificent sculpture that we are now in talking about players like Kyria, Chovy. Pays could be added to that list very early. Yes, I know didn't start his career with him, but where he can go to, the explosion and his career in the LPL with JDG, CV Max could be the guy. Missing as well in the bottom lane, someone with extreme potential. Bad year last year. I'm looking for the rebound.
And I think the big difference between these two squads is IG, the expectations, they're coming from a bottom tier team in the LPL. So people are way excited to actually be contenders, whereas JDG, you're fresh off of this Kanavi Ruler roster that disappointed at Worlds. So maybe the expectations for putting together a star-studded roster are a little bit higher. But either way, no question, both of these teams are going to be contenders to be the main rivals against BLG heading into this new 2025 LPL season. And there's lots of other rosters, top esports as well, to be excited about ahead of the new year over in the LPL. But that is it today for League Unlock. Eric and Mike here with you. Beauties, thanks for hanging out as always, and we will catch you on that flippity flip.